were looking for a way to change your life. You could not do this on your own. All the ways you wish you could be, that's me. I look like you want to look, I fuck like you want to fuck, I am smart, capable, and most importantly, I'm free in all the ways that you are not.
This is RPG, and welcome to the Reginal Jones Show.
You ready? We're on? Hello, hi, and welcome. My name is RPJ, and this is the RPJ Show. How are you? How you doing? What's up? What's going on with you? Me? The word that I have in mind is swell. I'm doing swell. Thank you for asking. And on with the show. I was listening this morning to a man, a homosexual black man, and he was just spouting off all kinds of nonsense. In fact, the title of my video show is the same title of the video that I was watching this morning, and he did a 3-part series on it. Now, again, this is a homosexual black male. I'm gonna guess that he's about 6 foot, 6'2". Heavy set, probably. He sounds like he's very heavy set, and he is filled with a lot of hostility. He is very angry with black men. I should also tell you that he happens to be friends with that divine dummy woman that I have pointed my perspective at in the past. So he has to be good friends with this divine dummy. Never called her out on her nonsense, even when I was proven to be right and she was proven to be insane. He never called her out, never publicly called her out. In fact, he probably still promotes and backs her play in this whole stalking melees of nonsense and neglecting kids and abandoning kids. I am pretty certain that this guy, this black man who was so angry with black men, it still promotes this divine dummy. And like I said, my analysis of him is that he's very angry. You can hear that throughout his videos. I've heard a few videos now of his, and he is very angry with black men. Probably because he's picked on by black men and teased a lot by black men, and ultimately shunned by black men that he wanted to, not only that he likes, that he wanted to be around, and he wanted to be accepted. And fairly or unfairly, he probably has a little bit of a gripe because he's probably around my age or maybe a little bit younger. And growing up in those times, homosexuality was not accepted as it is today. I mean, today it's rampant. Today, if you're not homosexual, you're a bad person. But back then, if you were a homosexual, and this was in the years of HIV and AIDS, where there was a healthy fear of it, being gay was the ultimate thing, the worst thing you can be in the black community. It probably was the worst thing you could be in the country, America, but definitely in the black community. And it's still, today, a big rank that black women uses towards black men, that you're gay. So it still comes back from those days. Even though being gay today is widely accepted, in fact, that's the norm. The country, if you're not gay, you're the worst person in the world. So this is where this guy comes from. This is just my analysis of him. And if you know how I put my perspective on people, you know that I'm probably right about this, just based on my track record. So I'm stupid, so I had to write some stuff down because I couldn't believe the nonsense that I was hearing. He goes off, he says a lot of things. He did a 3-part series in this video, videos, 3 videos in this shit. And I just couldn't take it. He was just spouting off, going here, going there, just a rampage of nonsense and anger. But one of the things, and I listed down a few things that I wanted to talk about that he was obviously wrong on. He says most of the time that black men will use their non-black relationships, their interracial relationships, in a way to hurt black women. This is his overall saying. He goes off to say that those black men that he says bash black women, most of them are not in relationships with white women. Now, I don't know all the guys that bash black women according to him, Antoine, whoever his name is, Rising something. I don't know all those black men, but I can tell you that those black men, a lot of them have been in relationships with white women or non-black women, and they are telling you their wants and likes, their preference. That is not a crime to do so. That's not a bashing of black women to say, hey, I prefer white women, I prefer an Asian woman, I prefer a Hispanic woman. You know, that's not a bash. It's just a man's preference. So, you know, you're a little bit wrong there. And if those guys are not in relationships, they will be in a relationship with a non-black woman going forward. So they don't have to be in relationships to talk about what their preferences are. Does that make sense? Black men don't have the right to speak about race. This is something that he claims, Antoine claims. As a black man myself, I find, and of course, who dates outside of his race, who dates non-black women exclusively. I don't date black women. I would if I found a cool black woman, but the fact that he says that I can't talk about race is ridiculous. I'm still a black man. I still have black people that are living in these black communities that I want a better life for them. I want better chances for them. I worry about their safety, their health. I don't want them to be a victim of crime. Of course, as a black man, as a black person, of course you can talk about race. Race is, I'm a minority in this world. I'm a minority in this, especially in America. I'm definitely a minority here in Australia. So talking about, of course, race is a big topic, so it's in my head constantly. So of course I can talk about race. I want to lift up my race. I want my race to do better for itself. I want my race to be protected. I want my race to have a future. I want individual people that are family and friends of mine, even fans of mine, I want them to do well. I want them to have a great community. So it's ridiculous that he says that I can't talk about race, or a black man can't talk about race. That's absurd. It's just silly talk. Silly talk. Antoine goes on to say that black men elevate white women. Now, I will say that black men in the Facebook groups that some of them I happen to be in, I don't think they go out to elevate white women. I think there is a healthy comparison saying that a lot of black women from the hood are pretty ratchet and fucked up and wear hair hats, get bad skin, and most white women are natural, have their natural hair, and are comfortable in their own skin, give or take the insecurities of just being a woman. I think that's a lot of that goes on. And I think pointing out the problems of black women from the hood, or black women that are fucked up like this, isn't a bad thing. You're pointing your perspective at them and bringing more eyes to it, bringing more mouths and minds to it. Maybe that we can help solve those issues that black women seem to have. Maybe we can get them to stop hating so much on black men in general. I think there might be a little bit of validity in what Antoine says, but not really. I think to point your finger at a black woman in comparison to non-black women is to show the difference, show why this one is okay in this aspect and why this one is not okay in this aspect, or vice versa. From what I've seen, I don't see an unhealthy amount of perspective or pointing at black women and how to uplift them, how to make them better, how if they did certain things, they would be more attractive to black men or to all men in general. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. Antoine goes on and says, black men harass black women. I have not seen any evidence of that whatsoever. Now you, of course, you're going to get the stray N-word talking, just really just disgusting, despicable talking. But I have seen more black women say more disgusting things to black men than other way around, by a large margin, by thousands percent. This is ridiculous. For any person to say that black men bashes black women and not pointing out that black women overwhelmingly bash black men has no credibility whatsoever. They didn't bring that up in those 3 videos. Well, I didn't watch all 3 of them. I'm sorry, I couldn't watch it, but it's just a lot of nonsense, crazy talk, angry talk. But not to bring it up in your opening, not to bring it up at all in one video is just absurd. Black women just try to tear down black men at all costs, and it has nothing to do with those black men bashing black women. Black women bash black men. You see that everywhere, in almost every post where is a racial post or a racial video where it discusses race or discusses gender, race and gender. You see that in everyone, all the time. That is not made up, that is an actual fact. Please, you lose me there. He says that he himself is affected by the bashing of black women. Let me get this straight. And hold on a second. He's right in a way. Black women and homosexual black men are one and the same. They look alike, they sound alike, they are very masculine, they are violent, they are self-absorbed, they are one and the same. The black woman's high testosterone, the lower testosterone of a black man puts them on an even playing field. They are one and the same. So black gay men see themselves as black women. They are one and the same, and they are. However, one is clearly a woman and one is clearly a male, so they are not the same. They're not the same. So why would any black man be affected by a man, a quote-unquote black man bashing a black woman? What black man is affected by that? How is he affected? What black gay man is affected by that? That doesn't make any sense. You're not a black woman, black gay man. You're silly. Silly. You're a silly wabbit. You're not making any sense. That's stupid what you say. Yes, there's a lot of similarities to black men and black women. Black women and gay black men. You are kind of one and the same. But the difference is that you are actually a man and they are women, closer to men than most other women of any other race. This is all true. You're just being very, very silly, and I just don't get it. I don't get what you're doing. He goes on to say, black women don't give a fuck about black men dating outside their race. I don't know what the fuck he's looking at, But that's all that black women do. That's all they do is bash black men for dating outside their race. What are you talking about? I don't give a fuck. That another absurd statement. Black women are so concerned by a black man dating outside of race. And mind you, most black women do not desire a black man. That's the truth. Black women do not desire black men. Black women desire white men. Black women desire white men. Black women have no want of black men. But what they do want is to be wanted by those black men. To be thirsted after by those black men. And nowadays, some of the thirst is leaving. Some of the better men are leaving that mindset. Yeah, you still got the thirsty guys who don't have any future. Yeah, you still have those black women. But the guys who have options and who have a somewhat of a future don't want nothing to do with those type of black women that are limited. Black women, all they do is bash black men. Black women, all they do is bash black men who are in interracial relationships, even more so. That's all you see. Absurd statement, absurd statement, absurd statement. Ridiculous. Absurd, 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 absurd. Black men ignore racist white women. A lot of times, I will say this, white women do not go out of their way to yell racial hate at black men. You'll see it once in a while happen. Even I've seen it once in a while happen to me. But you don't get a lot of that being done. It's not being done, so I can't say. I'll just speak for myself. When I was attacked, because I'm attacked by everybody. So when I'm attacked, my normal operating, shit, I can't think of the word, but my normal way of dealing with being attacked is to just say something nice and cordial and be done with it. That's it. The fact that they take the time to attack me, I appreciate. That I caused them to have an effort towards me. I like that. Turns my ego on, just the cream there. But I just normally say something polite and just keep it moving. So I don't believe that to be the case. And again, white women do not go out of their way. Racist white women don't go out of the way to say something nasty to a black person, a black man. So that doesn't really happen. But I could be wrong there. I could be wrong. So I might give Antoine a check mark on that one. Maybe. I haven't seen any proof of that. Either way. The climate. He claims it's part of the climate to bash black women. Well, what I will say is that nowadays, as I stated earlier, black men with a somewhat of a future or somewhat of a status or a mindset have left that limited mindset that has enslaved them and kept them down and kept them only options being a black woman. They're leaving that, and more people are speaking out about what's wrong with the black community, what's wrong with black women, and why they are the key to solving a black community. And black men, young and old like me, are saying, fuck this shit, we got options, and I'm not going to limit myself. I'm not going to be part of this ratchet cycle that goes in circles and no way to elevate yourself. I'm not going to be part of this single black woman fucking agenda and with everybody else keeping a black man down. Not going to happen. So people who are opening their eyes, opening up their minds, and saying that we have, as a black man, I have more options than I thought I had. As for myself, I already knew I had options from 14, 15 years on. being outside my hood and being in different areas like in Astoria, Queens, and Williamsburg, you know, Spanish and Asian and white women. I have teenagers, a teenager. I had more options, so I dated who was around me. As a basketball, football, baseball player in school, and then outside of school, I was in these areas a lot, and I dated who was in my area, which was, you know, was white, Irish, Italian, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Japanese, Chinese, Korean. So I dated who was ever around me. It wasn't even a big deal. I didn't even think about it. As I've gotten older, and then leaving the country a few times, I realized that it was a huge deal for other people. They were thinking about this shit. I didn't even know there was this stigma and these things called interracial. I swear I didn't know. I was ignorant. I was only concentrating on making myself a better human being those days and then being a better parent. But I had no idea what such a nonsense was going on until we start looking. I really started looking on the internet because I'm not really a TV watcher, so I was on the internet looking at documentaries, came across a few things, and I said, "Whoa! I didn't even know this shit was going on." So black men are just waking up. That's all that is. It's not a bashing of black women per se. And black men have to deal with ignorance, hate, fears of the black community along with this is what I say. Black men, have to deal with the ignorance and hate and the fears of a black community when they are in an interracial relationship. They get the eyeballs, they get the snickers, they get the rude comments, they get someone talking shit to their woman all the time. And they get this from a black community. They get this from black families because they don't understand it. They are limited, they are closed off, boxed in. They have the same low-level mentality. It's the same mentality that they have to deal with from a white or a non-black perspective, whether it be white, Asian, or Hispanic. They go to these, but believe it or not, it's done on a lesser level, on a lesser scale when you have to go to a non-black community or situation and get those same eyeballs and scares and stuff. They may stare at you, but they're not going to mostly say a lot of rude comments, not all the time. You get that more dealing in the black community because they have the fear. They are concerned. They are ignorant. They can't think outside the box. A lot of these low-level, ratchet, jackass type fucknuts. That's the truth. And I will say, in conclusion, most black women are incredibly jealous, incredibly afraid to be left alone and not wanted by black men, are angry of any interracial relationship, and have an institutionalized hatred of black men. And I mean by institutionalized is that over the years, over the last 40 to 50 years, with women's liberation, liberals, family court, criminal court system, and black women, they have put the squeeze on black men and have said that, and that all those things have made a concerted effort to undermine the black man in America. And that's happening now. Only as of late, there has been some surprises, some pushback by black men. The criminal court system are now prosecuting black women at the same level as black men. Slowly but surely, not all cases, which is not actually a great thing, but the family court is now awarding black men custody of their kids. Family courts, the court system are filing on, the arbitrators in these divorce proceedings are now being equal to black men, to men in general. So the tide is starting to change, and we still need more black men to speak up, voice their opposition to this destruction of black men, to limiting black men. It's ridiculous. We have to fight back, and men in general, but black men specifically. I am proud to be a black American man. I have built-in resolve just based on my skin, knowing my history, knowing from where I came from. I feel proud about who I am and what it is that people before me had to overcome to allow me to have the life that I lead now. I am proud of that. I wear that as a badge of honor. I have extra confidence because of that. So I am proud to be black. Maybe we should have more black women be proud to be black, proud of their heritage or where they came from, just from America's standpoint. And I know a lot of us don't know from where we come from in Africa. Maybe none of us. But we can be proud of the American history that has been made for us present day. And maybe at the end of this bullshit, there can be a coming together and we can rebuild all communities, black communities specifically, women and men relationships generally, for all of society, but especially for the black community that seem to be cannibalizing itself. And black women need to get their act together. Anyway, folks, I just wanted to voice my opinion against what I heard this morning from Antoine, something rising, I don't know his name. But it was just absurd, and hopefully I made sense to you guys, and I love you. My name is RPJ, and this has been the RPJ Show. Thank you.
That was the Reginald P. Jones Show, and he was RPJ.
Fuck you, RPJ.
Reginald P. Jones.